So Marco Rubio thought that he was being cute, and he decided to set up an alternative to Obamacare, specifically in his state of Florida. And to show you how epically stupid the idea was, get this, he didn't even offer anything special or unique. The plan was just called Florida Health Choices, and people would sign up for healthcare, and they wouldn't get anything extra. They would just be signing up for healthcare. Like, at least with Obamacare, when you go to the state exchanges, depending on your income level, you might get a subsidy if it's merited. But with Marco Rubio's counter to Obamacare, he's just like, no, sign up, and then you pay your money, and then that's it. So why would people go there when at least if they go to the Obamacare exchanges, they have a chance to maybe get a little bit of help? And of course, the argument is that, as we know, based on the history of healthcare in America, specifically in modern times, people can't afford healthcare because we have such a heavily privatized system and the insurance companies are price gouging the shit out of everybody, so people can't afford it without help. But Marco Rubio's idea was, let's just set up this exchange where there are no subsidies and there is no help, and then hopefully people will come. And also, I should add, the tiny little itty-witty-bitty thing that he would do for people on rare occasions is they would get like a coupon for the dentist. That's it. This is his entire healthcare plan. So he took some initiative and he implemented it, and I honestly think that he did this because he was tired of people bringing up the accurate talking point that, hey, Republicans always scream about how Obamacare is bad, but they don't really propose any alternatives. So he was tired of hearing that. He's like, no, I'm on it. I'm going to do something here. And he did. So how did it work out? Quote, with the open enrollment period over on February 15th, the numbers are in. A total of 42 consumers enrolled for healthcare plans this year. 42. Their total premiums came to $253,170. And here's my favorite fact. The state has spent $2.4 million to run the program. What happened to small government, buddy? Here you are, you come along and you go, I want to set up a private alternative to Obamacare, which I'm going to pretend is socialist, even though it's not. And it'll be so much better, and it'll be so much more cost-efficient, and it'll be more popular. 42 people sign up, and somehow, to set up the infrastructure, it cost $2.4 million tax dollars. Meanwhile, compare that to Obamacare, and the Congressional Budget Office report from when it was originally implemented, what did they say? That Obamacare actually cuts the deficit. These guys are a parody of themselves. In every way that they want to solve problems, theoretically speaking, and in their own minds, Obama comes along and actually does it. And then he doesn't get credit for it from them, and they try to counter it with other policies that end up being massive failures. And we've gone through the list before, but, the conservatives always talk about cutting the deficit. Obama cut the deficit. They talk about how the stock market is a great economic indicator of how the nation is doing. Obama more than doubled the stock market. They talk about how, forget the public sector, we don't care about that. We want private sector job creation. Obama created over 10 million jobs in the private sector. And there's fucking crickets. Nobody goes, hey, man, thank you for doing the things that we pretend like we want you to do. They just still attack him, and they still say, I'm going to come up with an alternative that's more in line with the philosophy of small government, even though I just blew $2.4 million creating it. And it's going to be wildly popular because our ideas are better. Oh, what's that? Only 42 people joined? It's so sad. And understand, as we've spoken about before, it's not like Obamacare is single payer. It's not like it's a government takeover of healthcare, as it's often portrayed by the Republicans who have no clue what they're talking about. Not only is it not not only is it not the progressive policy, it isn't really even a progressive policy. Because the progressive policy is, of course, single payer, which every other modern industrial nation has, and those systems, by and large, are tremendously successful. And a liberal proposal, a more watered-down one, would be the public option. We didn't even get that. So he really did your idea. So for you to come along and say, I want to try to outright wing this already right-wing policy, well, we see the results of it. People don't want to go into your shitty thing. And to just set up the infrastructure, you actually blew $2.4 million tax dollars. So you're going to have to answer for the fact that apparently you believe in big government, Marco Rubio, just wasting that money for no goddamn reason. And you're also going to have to answer for the fact that your plan was terrible and nobody likes it. And now compare that to Obamacare. How many people in Florida signed up for the healthcare exchanges? 1.6 million.